Hi everyone, this is Marjorie. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, this metal butterfly sign from Craft Outlet was my inspiration for this wreath. Springtime is coming and this butterfly was just so beautiful. I absolutely love the colors on it. Here I have a cable mount that I added a little dab of super glue to, and I am attaching it to the metal wreath sign and applying some hot glue around the perimeter of it just to make sure it is secure. Now, there is right by the head of the butterfly in the middle at the top, there is a little bracket on there that is attached to the sign already. And so I'll also use that as a point to attach the sign to the wreath. Now I do have this floral wire that I had got from Hobby Lobby. And I just cut off a couple of fairly long pieces in order to attach to those, the bracket and the cable mount tie. And I'll use that in order to attach it to the wreath. I do try to make these a little long because I've got to go through the Deco mesh and the ribbon of the wire, of the wreath, in order to attach it to the wreath base. So I'd rather make them a little longer than shorter. So now I have my 14-inch wire wreath form. I'm stuck on the word wire today. And I am just getting some pipe cleaners ready so I can make my own work wreath. And I'm counting out 18 pipe cleaners in order to attach the wreath. And then I have to get extras in order to use as for the bows. Here I'm just showing you the two brackets, and the inside the two brackets is a section. So there's a total of 6 sections. In the inner 2 rings, I will add 1 pipe cleaner, and in the 2 outer rings, I'll add 2 pipe cleaners. So that's 3 pipe cleaners in 1 section, and with 6 sections, that totals 18 pipe cleaners. Now try to make sure that you don't tie the pipe cleaners too tight, because the wreath forms are from the Dollar Tree, and I'm not saying they're bad quality because I use them all the time, but if you do tie them on there too tight, you'll squeeze the frame close together, and you don't want to do that. Now I do add 21-inch Deco mesh on here, and I thought I was recording, but unfortunately I was not, so I do not have that available. Now with this 10-inch mesh, this is beautiful, and it is from Craft Outlet along with the 21-inch Deco mesh, and I cut it at 20 inches, and I am just doing a ruffle method. So all I do is I'm going to take one end of a piece of mesh, and I fold that under about an inch or so, and then I will take it in between my fingers and walk my fingers up the middle of the mesh. When I get towards the end, the opposite end is still pretty much curled under anyways, and so I'm mindful of that, and I make sure that when I collect the end of the piece, that portion is also turned in about an inch or 2. So I did cut these at 20 inches and the roll comes in a total of 10 yards, so it's a total of 362 inches. And so to get my 20-inch length, all I did is took the 360 and divided it by the 18, which gave me a total of 18-inch pieces. Now I just tried to make sure that I used my whole roll. I didn't want to have to go over. That's why I did not cut them longer, because I only wanted to be able to use one package of the Deco mesh. If you want longer pieces, that's fine. That's completely up to you. And just be mindful that you would have to have 2 packets of the black and pink mesh. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the color combo of black and pink. And I also like when there is some white that's sprinkled through it as well. And these are some really cute ribbons that I got from Craft Outlet. This is actually this one is a 1.5 inch ribbon, and the Harley Quinn design is a 2-inch ribbon, and it's got some glitter on the black, and it is so gorgeous. I don't know about you guys, but I love plaid, I love argyle, I love Harley Quinn design. I just think it's beautiful. So I cut 14-inch tails, and then I just dovetail the end of my ribbon. And as you can see, this came off a little bit, but it was okay. I mean, I still made it work. But as you see that I'm rolling it out, it kind of curves. And it was like that through the whole roll. It still worked in the end. I just don't know what caused it to have that extra curl, but it worked. So I fold them in half and to find the middle piece. And y'all be careful when you're cutting the ribbon, because sometimes you get the little metal shavings from the wire, and if you're not careful, it can get stuck in your hand or your arm. Believe me, I've had it done before, and they're normally really tiny pieces, so you have to be careful that it doesn't get stuck in your skin. But once I found the middle part, I kind of crisscrossed them a little bit and then scrunched them together in the middle, made a V shape, and then added it to a pipe cleaner. And then all I'm doing is just cutting the extra bit of the pipe cleaner off and pushing that down in order to make sure it does not hurt anyone. So here it goes again. After I unfold it, I crisscross it, pinch it in the middle, I fold the ends, I make it into a V, and I add it right on top of a pipe cleaner. I like the 1.5 inch ribbon because I think because of the white that actually pops out in that ribbon, it brings more of the white out from the sign and from the bottom layer of the Deco mesh, the white 21-inch Deco mesh. So here I am, I'm just attaching the butterfly to the wreath, and I actually used the floral wire to go through the deco mesh and attached it. And then once I did that, then I'm going back through and adding some additional tails that I had. So I have this black 2.5-inch ribbon that's also from Craft Outlet. And here I'm just going to start by making a bow. As usual, I typically make my bows starting off at 6 inches, and I just make a couple loops, and the initial tail, well, both tails actually, excuse me, are at 8 inches. I do make 2 bows for this ribbon. I'm sorry, I was looking at the ribbon. I do make 2 bows for this wreath. So what I did with the other 2 that I created the tails with is I completely unspooled them off of the roll, and then I cut them in half because I knew I was gonna make 2 bows. Good night. What's wrong with me today? But I knew I was going to make 2 bows, so I wanted to be able to have an equal amount of ribbon and also just know what I'm working with. I didn't want to start off with some of the leftover ribbon and not be able to make the bows the same. So that's a little something that I do. And then I added in some additional black and white Harley Quinn 1.5-inch ribbon that was also from Craft Outlet. If you can't tell, I'm an avid shopper at Craft Outlet. They have some of the best quality, some of the best prices, and they used to do a deal where you would collect points and could use it at a later date, but they've changed that. And so now what they do is they give you like award points, but they take it off. It's money taken off every time you order. So just depending on what you order, then you get an additional discount on top of whatever. So no, I'm not sponsored, but hey, with the economy nowadays, and you know, I like to have nice quality things, and just to like help other people out. If you don't know where to buy good quality stuff, Craft Outlet is the best place for me. I've looked at a lot of the other places that people have called out in their YouTube channels of where they like to shop, but price wise and including quality, Craft Outlet's my to-go-to place every single time. So here you see I made my loops just a little bit smaller each time, starting off at 6 inches on each side. And then I just go in and, honestly, I don't ever know how my bows are going to turn out until I just start layering on the different ribbons. But I knew I wanted these bows to be pretty full in a really nice size because I was going to make 2 of them. So here at the end, I just made 2 loops. No, sorry, 2 tails and 1 loop with the ribbons. And I think it turns out really pretty. Now I did have, I think, a little bit extra on here that I ended up having to cut down, which is no problem. So once I have my bow all made, then I take it off, being very careful not to lose it, because boy, if you miss grabbing one part of that bow, it can not be pretty. So I apologize for being off camera, but I really pinch all the loops and tails down the tightest I can, and I hold my pipe cleaner very tight in my right hand, and then I twist the bow, which allows me to make sure that everything stays nice and tight. Now on my 2.5-inch and 2-inch ribbon, I cut them in dovetails, and my 1.5-inch ribbon, I cut those at an angle. It's all about preference, whichever one you like to do. You could definitely cut all of them at a dovetail. If you don't want to cut them and trim them at the end, you don't even have to do that. It's whenever you're making a wreath, it's all about your preference and how you want to make it, how your customers like it. So please make sure you just do this how you create. So once I have the bow made, then I know I'm going to place a bow at the bottom and at the top. And here I'm just finding a good place to have the bow attached. And with this wreath, with it being the pink, white, and black, I like the blue accents on the butterfly. And if you recreated this, you could actually add more blue. But this is how it turned out, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful in my eyes. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by and spending a little time with me. I hope you all have a very blessed week.